Here we have it. 4 out of 10 job listings are fake. You guys called it out, and you guys said in the comment section a long time ago that most of these job listings are fake, and you guys will not believe the reasons why they're actually fake and why they're doing it. Mind-boggling stuff. So let's get into the video. What they're talking about in this article when they're saying that 4 out of 10 job listings are actually fake. So let's go over to them. So as many as 4 in 10 companies say that they've posted a fake job listing. That should be punished. That should actually be something that they actually put a fine on. I just think that is so sad. So now they said they surveyed 649 hiring managers, and they said, "Oh yeah, we do that." So now you're like, what? And now you're looking at, okay, these hiring managers. So what are they saying? So when you go to the article, it says 7 in 10 hiring managers say that the practice of posting fake job listings is morally acceptable. And now I'm looking at it. Where did they find these hiring managers that they think that is morally acceptable? Do you think that's morally acceptable? Let me know. I'm gonna make a poll and see if the poll people agree if that is acceptable or not. And let me know if you're job searching or not, and apply to these fake job listings. And it is so crazy. So the article goes on and says, when you do these fake job listings, well, we'll collect a resume for a later date. And then they kind of go on and talk about staffing agencies. They keep the resumes, they go through the interview, and as soon as the job is empty or that they know somebody, then then they'll give you a call. And I'm just like, what? Why do they even reach out when there's, when they're still working there just to interview for funsies? Why would anybody do that? Why would, what's the point behind interviewing just to stack some resumes? I don't get it. It's like you can just collect resumes if you Google online resumes. So now it all comes down to reason of appearance. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at it. Hiring managers say that they believe advertising non-existing openings has a positive impact on their revenue by making it appear like their company is growing faster than it is, according to the survey. Oh, so when you go to VC funding and you try to do all that, you says, oh, we have, we're trying to find 200 people, but we just can't find them because they're just not that qualified. And we have it in the budget and all that, but we just can't get it. How crazy is that? So they believe that the practice increased employment morale by making overextended staffers feel like the workload will soon be alleviated. Yeah. So they actually gaslight you. That's what they're saying. They actually gaslight you and tell you, you know what? We're actively trying to get you some relief. You're overworked. You're working 50, 60 hours a week. You're doing all this stuff. And we want to get you help. We just haven't gotten this. And that is so funny because somebody actually from UPS that wrote me in and said that that's what they're doing. They're just working their people overtime rather than hiring new people. And I don't know what the whole point of that is, but it's what they're doing now. So let's keep going. Others believe the move to boost productivity by making employees feel like they're replaceable and have to prove themselves against potential newcomers. Yeah, that's what it is. Here we go. Now we're getting into the juicy part. They want you to believe that you're replaceable, so you work harder, not take the vacation. Take your time off. Don't take your time off, because if you do take your time off, you're out. And we can always find somebody because we got 1,000 resumes. And what they're going to say is, your job that you're doing right now, we can find somebody for half the price that's going to do double the job than you do. And this is the environment we're living in. They do not care. They do not care. They just, brutal. It's brutal. The job market from 2019 It's gone, folks. Where people were we're job hopping and doing all that. You're done job hopping. You're absolutely done. So now finally managed to say they keep fake listings up in order to collect resumes to keep on file for later. Yeah. And now I'm going to ask you again, how many people do you know have been called way, way later down the road and actually gotten a call? So when have you gotten a call from a resume that you submitted and said, hey, you've interviewed here 3 months ago. Are you still interested so you can so you could still, get the job? I'm wondering because I've never heard of that. And I have a little bit of an audience and sometimes my videos get thousands of views. And then, I'm wondering there must be people like that. So let me know in the comments below if that ever happened to you. So yeah, that's one thing. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it that they're scamming you, wasting your time. And I've seen recruiters now on the other social media platforms doing short form videos talking about that they're seeing that you need to apply to 100 jobs to get one interview. And when you think about it, is that 40 of those resumes are just funky. They're just for fun. They're just funky. They're not there. They're fugazi or whatever they say, up in the air. So they're just doing it just to make themselves look good. So it's not that these job listings, aren't going to do anything. No, it's going to cost you time and money to actually send those out. And that's why it's just so bad. And then when you read the article, they're actually talking about in the article that, all these platforms, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and all these other ones have, clauses against that. But that doesn't do nothing. Doesn't do nothing for you. Just because you're like, hey, I got this interview or I got that doesn't mean nothing. Because if you just get an interview, they might just hold you over for a little while just because, they'll tell you, oh, you have round 1 interview, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, 7, 8. And that's from a recruiter that said that. You have 7, 8 rounds of interviews. And then I say, yeah, we're going to pause the hiring. But, normally you would have gotten the job. But right now, we just put a hiring freeze on it since yesterday or something, some BS, and you're done. And then they're like, wow, I just spent all this time. You've probably even got an assignment to do at home, to see if you're qualified for the job. So you did some kind of work, and then they told you, nah, that's not right. They told you, do your assignment, and then it was probably some project related to the company, what they actually shouldn't do, but they did. So yeah, hugely, hugely messed up. And where do we go from here? Because I always try to have some positivity in my videos, try to do some here. And you know what? It is time to almost unleash the AI movement and just flooding these companies with 1 million resumes. Just have these AI bots take over and just flood them. And once we're at that point, we're going to be like, that's really stupid. You shouldn't do that. Well, if they get 100,000 resumes for one job, how can you possibly even go through that, right? And then they got their resumes for a later time. So if they're hiring for one job and you send them 100,000 resumes, they have enough resumes to last them 20 lifetimes. So you kind of got to go around and actually work your way into the back door. So what you got to do is you got to somehow get a hold of the hiring manager. And with the hiring manager, you got to somehow get in contact, make a report, build networking, and trying to get in that way. But that is also, the hiring manager is going to get, on LinkedIn, is going to get 100, 200 DMs from people just like you trying to do that. So it's like a never ending, it's a never ending cycle where you try to do something, you try to submit a resume and, you're just chasing your tail because you just can't do it. You just can't do it. Everything is just so messed up because when you submit their resume and it just gets in a flood of resumes. How are you going to stand out? You're going to almost send it into paper form so that it actually gets noticed because they get so many applications. So I'm wondering, what would you guys do? What would you guys do? Because I'm kind of lost for words. And when I hear these recruiters online talking about, I'm you're one out of, you're one out of 3 candidates, you finally made the cut. And then it comes to salary negotiation. Do you really have the power to negotiate anything? I doubt it, because why would you? There's so many other people that's going to take your job. How do you have any power of negotiating your salary? You're like, how can I do that just from a statistical standpoint, right? So, yeah, sometimes I think, the only thing left in this world is kind of being a celebrity, being a Hollywood celebrity, because that's the only thing that they can't automate yet. Everything else is AI and is, done for all that, because you can't, how are you going to stand out when there's people in my DM saying they've applied to 8,000 jobs? And this other woman that I saw online earlier on today that told me that on her live, she said she applied for 400 jobs a week, and she got like 1 or 2 responses in a month. That's it. So she made about 1,600 resumes, and she gets about 1 to 2 interviews, phone calls a day. No, a month. So it is absolutely crazy. And then you're wondering, like, oh my gosh, job seeker burnout, all that kind of other stuff. So what are you gonna do? And you can't do anything. And that's why these people on TikTok are saying, oh, I've been unemployed for 8 months. Oh, I've been unemployed for 9 months. Oh, I'm at the verge of being homeless. Oh, and doing all that. Yeah. The job market is so cooked that you can't even grasp it. It's just not good anymore. It's just not 2019 or 2020, where people job hopped, got stock bonuses, got 20% cuts. And somebody else in my comment section, I said it's reverse now. So instead of job hopping, you get job cuts and you go back to your old employer, and what you were making there, they're going to take you back. Before you were making, 100,000, they're going to chop 20% off. So you're going to make, 80, and they're like, yeah, we'll take you back. But hey, your stock, your RSUs and all that, that's done. We're just going to give you 80,000 on, because you're a good guy. We're going to give you 60 because, we don't need you. We have, artificial intelligence now, and we have all these other people that would do it for 50, but you've been here, you know how it goes, so we don't have to train you. So we're willing to give you $10,000 more. And that's kind of what it feels like, right? So yeah, it is absolutely crazy. And when you have all these fake job listings, and they're just going to keep coming. When Indeed, like here, is laying off people, and Indeed makes money when people get hired, because big companies pay Indeed, right? So big companies pay Indeed money to show their listings, to get the best candidates, do all that. But you can't, if they're laying off people, that means companies aren't hiring and that companies aren't doing anything. And then what are you going to do? Nothing. And when the job numbers came out, and they always correct them down. You guys been saying, oh, they always do that. For you guys, this is the question I have. For these guys that said, oh, they cook the job, they always correct them down. Then why don't they just wait a month to produce them? If they're always going to check them down, why don't they just wait another 60 days, or now come up with the job numbers in January and say, hey, we only got the job numbers now, but you only do it once. So people can actually make a decision off of how the economy really is, and not just, oh, we're correcting it this way, that way, however we feel like, because that's not how you should run the country. Like, oh yeah, we're going to put out numbers, but then, we can put them up or down. So yeah, Absolutely nuts. And yeah, for you guys in the job market that are trying to get a job, I don't even know what to say. I just like, man, stick through it and let me know how the job search going down below. But yeah, it is absolutely bananas. And what's also mind-boggling is that these hiring managers actually admitted that. They didn't just say, "Oh no, we don't do that," because that'd be one thing, if you say, "No, we didn't do none of that." They've actually said, "Oh yeah, we do that." And they actually had the audacity to tell people. And if you have the audacity to tell people, then there's going to be a small part of your sample size that was kind of ashamed and didn't want to say it, right? So when you have that small sample size of people that didn't want to say it, how much was that? How much was the dark number that said, that's morally incorrect, so I'm not going to be truthful? How much was that number? So yeah, it's just crazy. And he was saying, oh, interest rates aren't going to do nothing. Well, interest rates are going to make capital more accessible. That means, innovation can thrive. And yeah, and, inflation wasn't too much of my concern because if, salaries are rising and inflation rise, your debt kind of goes out of the window. And if we didn't give all this COVID funny money around, these billions of dollars to people, that didn't need it, and we left these people that actually needed it behind, we would be fine. But no, we've gave people millions of dollars that fake pay stubs, and then they went out and bought Lambos, and bought other crazy cars, and bought trips and lavish stuff, and made all the prices go up. And that's what did inflation. Bought watches, bought all these crazy things, and yeah, they're in jail now. Some of them are, at least. So yeah, absolutely crazy. Yeah, man. How do you survive that? Because they, normally during a recession, there should be crazy opportunities to buy stuff, to do that. And I think that's going to come. It's just not the right time yet. And when you look at who's hiring and you look at the last job report, it was just um, government and healthcare. So if you were not in government or you were not in healthcare, you were out of luck. So what grade of an economy are we going to have if we're going to have two sectors, government and healthcare, and everything else just in the trash, baby, in the trash. So you're going to be either not working or government or healthcare. Great. We got something really great coming down the pipeline. So let me know what you think about this. I'm going to end the video. Don't have a video, a Swiss vlog today, but I'm here another 3-4 days. And then I'm out, baby. Heading back home, seeing my doggy, seeing wifey. Gonna be back from my desk working. Got all my stuff situated with my family. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. If you haven't, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And I love, love, love you guys' comments. Keep them coming. I did not delete those comments. Actually, I need to put this in the video first. So if you see this clip, I did not delete you guys' comments. This was YouTube doing it automatically. Because unless you say hateful stuff against other people, then I would delete it. But I haven't deleted any comments so far. So I'll see you in the next one.